Hello and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, we are diving into the world of Hellblade 2, but with a twist. I'm going to be talking about DLSS and AMD FSRs, and I'm going to pit them head to head to see which one reigns supreme in this stunning new title. Now, both these technologies promise smoother frame rates without sacrificing visual quality. But which one actually delivers in Hellblade 2? Will DLSS, with its fancy AI tech, flex its muscle? Or will AMD's FSR's broad compatibility steal the show? So get ready for frame rate showdowns, image quality comparisons, and a deep dive into the nitty-gritty of these technologies. Buckle up because we're about to find out which tech will help you conquer Hellblade 2 with the smoothest visuals possible. I'm going to start off by talking about these two technologies by showing you zoomed in images of both AMD FSR and DLSS back to back. Now, one of the biggest issues that I personally faced with AMD's FSR was the shimmering issue. And this generally happens with areas like hair, grass, fences, foliage, overall. And this issue only seems to persist with AMD's FSR, whereas compared to DLSS seems to be far more smoother in terms of having these edges sorted out. So this zoomed in image should give you a clear idea of how superior Nvidia's DLSS is compared to AMD's FSR. And the overall visual fidelity of the game definitely seems to be better with Nvidia's DLSS. I want to talk about both these technologies very briefly, just to give you an idea as to how they operate and why that makes a difference. While both FSR and DLSS aim to boost your frame rate, they achieve this in distinct ways. On a basic level, they both render the game internally at a lower resolution for improved performance. However, the magic happens afterwards. Here's where things diverge. FSR and DLSS employ entirely different algorithms to upscale the image to your monitor's resolution or your television's resolution. These algorithms attempt to reconstruct the missing details and create a visually pleasing final image. This is where the technical details become more intricate. Let me start off by talking about DLSS first, because DLSS actually takes image scaling to a whole new level with the power of artificial intelligence. These RTX graphics cards boast dedicated tensor cores specifically designed for AI tasks. And in DLSS, these cores work their magic on a trained AI model to upscale your game. Imagine this AI model as a super intelligent detective. The game renders frames at a lower resolution, like I told earlier, leaving some visual information missing. Then the AI, trained on countless examples, analyzes these frames and temporal data. What do I mean by temporal data? How objects move between frames. That's what I mean. And using this information, the model acts like a detective, filling in the gaps and creating a high-resolution image that looks incredibly close to the original, even with those missing details. This AI muscle, as I would call it, allows DLSS to not only upscale the image, but also predict and recreate fine details that might be lost in the lower resolution, resulting in sharper visuals. Let's talk about AMD's FSR now. Chronologically, FSR is comparatively newer because it launched in 2021 and it entered the scene 2 years after Nvidia's DLSS. And unlike its AI-powered competitor, FSR took a simpler approach initially. The first iteration relied on a spatial upscaling technique, making it compatible with a wider range of hardware, including non-AMD graphics cards. This open-source approach allowed many gamers to benefit from basic image scaling regardless of their graphic card's brand. AMD later expanded FSR's capabilities with FSR 2.0, introducing a more advanced temporal upscaling technique for improved quality. However, FSR remains distinct from DLSS and Intel's XeSS in its lack of reliance on dedicated AI cores, which is the key distinction. That is AI versus no AI. That's the core difference between FSR, DLSS, and even XeSS. While DLSS and XeSS leverage AI to address temporal artifacts, which is distortions caused by movement between frames, FSR tackles this challenge without AI. And that probably could be one of the reasons as to why DLSS and XeSS both look comparatively superior to FSR in a game like Hellblade 2. Despite its shortcomings, one of the good things with AMD's FSR is that it's available on non-AMD GPUs as well. So in this case, I'm using AMD's FSR on my 4070 Super, but I can't do the same with DLSS, meaning to use DLSS, I will need a dedicated Nvidia GPU. I can't use DLSS on AMD's GPU. But the opposite can happen with AMD's FSR, which just improves your chances of getting this on almost any and every game possible. So that's a big positive with AMD's FSR. The other issue that I spoke about with AMD's FSR previously was the shimmering issue. Now here's the thing, because I'm using AMD's FSR with my 4070 Super, the first thing that I want to say is, I don't know if you saw the settings that I was running this game on. I was running this game on 4K. Now, when you're upscaling or when you're using these technologies like FSR or DLSS, and if you're using this on 4K resolution, even with AMD's FSR, that shimmering issue that I was talking about kind of goes away. I mean, not entirely, there's still some shimmering that is there compared to DLSS, but it's so much more better. And it's only highlighted when you are upscaling from a lower resolution. So if you're upscaling from 1080p or a 1440p, the previous examples that you saw in this video of this shimmering issue was of footage that was upscaled from 1440p. So that's something to keep in mind when I'm talking about AMD's FSR. So the moral of the story is this: if you are upscaling from 1080p or 1440p, then your image will take a considerably higher hit, meaning the image quality will be comparatively far worse. But if you are using AMD's FSR in 4K resolution, then the image does not seem bad, and the wider availability just seems to be the icing on the cake. So with AMD's FSR, I can actually use this even on my Nvidia's GPU, and that is a big plus. And then you finally have something like Intel's XeSS as well, which also uses AI, and even this image is comparatively better. But when I use this on a game like Hellblade 2, one of the things that I found was an issue was ghost trails. So if you look at all those dust particles in the wind, those seem to be having a trail in a game like Hellblade 2. And I kind of spoke about this even when I was playing this on RoboCop, Rogue City. So this does seem to be an issue. So there is ghosting when it comes to Intel's XeSS, but I'm just giving you an example of all these upscaling technologies. Now, one of the other benefits that Nvidia's graphic cards have is the ability to have frame generation, and frame generation makes a whopping difference, because if I choose TSR in this case, then you would notice that the frame rates have dropped considerably. I mean, we are talking about single digits. So this is what a native image would look like without any of the upscaling used, without frame generation used. But the benefit of using Nvidia's DLSS is the fact that because of this upscaling and because of your ability to turn frame generation on, the image becomes so much more smoother, and not just smoother, but it also becomes very similar looking to the original image without any upscaling. And that is the beauty of Nvidia's DLSS, and that's why I personally choose to go along with an Nvidia graphic card instead of an AMD graphic card, because I was torn between, should I go the AMD route or should I just go along with Nvidia's GPUs? I think I've made a good choice, but what do you think? And if you're out in the market to get a gaming PC, what will your choice be? Would you choose to go the Nvidia route, or would you choose to go the AMD route? Please let me know in the comments section. But I think it's a wrap for this one as far as this video goes. I didn't want to get into, my real world experience sharing as to what I feel the image looks like in this video, but I wanted to talk about these technologies, these upscaling technologies, very briefly in today's video, so that you get an idea as to what you probably should go in for when you think about getting a PC for yourself, especially for gaming reasons. With that said, it's a wrap for this one, lovely folks. And if you've liked the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you could hit that like and subscribe button and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. I will see you, lovely folks, in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.